your Scooby snack. Jinkies.
Dear HBO Max, I just learned you intend to make a genre-bending comedic origin story of Judy Jetson. When I heard this new version of Judy Jetson wouldn't be boy crazy, the only word I had to describe my disgust is jinkies. If there is one thing the internet agrees on, it's that you should never change anything ever. I hope you die. Sincerely, Velma. Well, at least Judy's still white. Unknown caller. Spooky. Hello? Velma Dinkley speaking.
Hello, Velma. Do you like solving mysteries?
Yeah, but I'm actually much more three-dimensional than that. Who is this?
That's the mystery. And solve it quick, because I'm in your house.
A serial killer calling from inside my house? Yes, that's a classic, and that's my point. Why change anything when the classics all still work, right? Wait, you're inside my house?
Alright, welcome back, guys. I know a lot of people have already given their thoughts. I wanted to give mine on Velma. I love Scooby-Doo. I've been watching it since I was a kid. It's been a big part of my childhood. I watched the original series since I was real little. A lot of the classics and so many of the different versions that came out. Me and my sister used to watch them growing up. We loved watching Scooby-Doo together. So yeah, that was a big part of our childhood in terms of cartoons. This popped up and I saw they had a version of her that was gay. I saw that trailer, and then I saw the HBO Max show coming out with Mandy, whatever her name is, the girl from The Office, right? Playing, that's all I know her from. I know she's been in movies and whatever. She's not a big-time actress, but so she's not only gay, I believe, in that one also, like she is in that new Scooby-Doo movie, the Trick or Treat one, but she's also Asian Indian, or she's a mixed race, basically. She's not white. Obviously, you could see in the trailer she had dark skin. And they did a little joke at the beginning of the trailer where she's on the phone or she's texting, sending a message to HBO Max saying, like, you can't change a character. A little jab at audiences who are going to critique the show. This is very similar to when I did a video on Seth Rogen's Santa Inc. You guys remember that failure that was Santa Inc.? You know, taking a lovable character like Santa and making him out to be a racist, a misogynist. You know, like, how was that going to be successful? And nobody liked it. That was like one of the worst concepts to try to put a woke viewpoint on. But remember Seth Rogen's tweet? I don't remember exactly what it was. I had the screenshot. You can go check my video on it. Where he said something along the lines of, we really did trigger or reveal tens of thousands of white misogynists with this, our new Santa Inc. trailer, right? And of course, there were a lot of black people in the comment section, a lot of minority people in the, a lot of different people of different ethnic backgrounds in the comments, like, hey, I'm a black guy here. Hey, I'm a Hispanic guy here. I hate your new show, Santa Inc. I don't like it. It's terrible. You know, just making him look like an idiot, which he is. They're basically doing the same thing here. They're doing the same thing here with this. Like, it's terrible. You had an opportunity to make a few jokes, show some other part of your show coming out, Velma. They couldn't do that. With that trailer, they used up like the first 20 seconds of the already short teaser to just kind of what they think is a good defensive wall. They set up, like in the beginning of that trailer, they put that little wall up. Like, oh look, we're making fun of people. We're having Velma act like what we expect critics to be of this show because Velma's not white anymore and now she's gay. So, wasted opportunity in your trailer. You could have shown something else. You could have shown some better humor, a better joke. But no, you did that to set that up. Like Seth Rogen putting out a tweet trying to set up some kind of defensive wall to somehow avoid criticism, but he didn't. Plenty of people still criticize his show. That tweet didn't intimidate anybody. That tweet got a lot of people just commenting, well, I wish Twitter would actually show dislikes because that thing would have been disliked so much, and everybody was just commenting how much they hated his show. There was very little support for Seth Rogen there, just like there's going to be very little support here for this show. But that's not the point of this. I mean, I just wanted to I didn't want to make a separate video reacting to that trailer or whatever, because the main point of this video is going to focus on Velma being gay. And if you saw the thumbnail, I don't want it to be clickbait. It's not. I don't want any of my videos to be clickbait. I am going to present to you the argument that if you are somebody here who supports Velma being gay, and I don't mean just support it like just in general, like a version of her being gay and somebody having that creative freedom. I want to be very clear. When I say like I don't support woke Hollywood or I heavily criticize it, I want to be very clear. I don't want some weird law or rule passed that says you can't have gay people or minorities or in Hollywood, in movies, or there needs to be a limited number. Of course not. Of course I don't want that. Jordan Peele should have been arrested a long time ago if that was a law. Like, I don't want what he's doing in his movies to be illegal. I don't want that. I'm not saying that. So right off the bat, I want you to know, like, of course, nobody's asking for that. Nobody is. But on the opposite end of things, when it comes to people who do support the woke mob, who do support woke Hollywood, they're saying crazy things like that, such as this right here. In case you're wondering, this is going to be the background image. I am going to keep this up the entire time because this is kind of one of the main points I wanted to bring up. I did take this from an article. I'm going to be honest as well. What you're seeing on the screen right now, I screenshot that on my phone from an article. I can't find it, and I don't remember the name. Variety, NPR, whatever, all these different articles. You're gonna have to go find it. I'm sorry. I promise you, I didn't type out what you're seeing on screen. I have other screenshots I'll show you from that same article, but this is written by a real person who supports Velma's change, and all over Twitter are people talking just like this, what you're seeing on the screen right there, that crazy statement. So, apologies, I don't have the article name. I always want to provide that. Just realized right now I was looking on my phone, I don't have it, so didn't want to do all the digging. I was already digging right now, and really I just came across a bunch of other articles that looked familiar to me because I was reading a bunch, and they all talk pretty much the same. But if you want to find this exact quote right here on the screen, you're going to have to go find it. It was when this first broke out, and it was the first article that came up on Google. Now it's buried under a bunch of others, so that's why I couldn't find it. But again, this isn't fake. I didn't write this or type it out. This is from an article I screenshot. This is insanity. This is crazy. And there were people all over Twitter when this happened saying similar things like this. So there you have a new movie. Just saw a little clip from it that went viral where Velma is just ecstatic, swooning over this girl, and people are losing their minds. The gay community is just feeling like a victory and saying like, she's ours now. She's gay. This is official. It's canon. All these different, all these different things. Canon. She's ours. We win. It's like just a big celebration over this. And then, obviously, Mindy, whatever her name is, the girl from The Office, who is voicing her in the new HBO show, which we just saw the trailer. If you saw the thumbnail, this isn't clickbait. I am going to bring that up. That is the point of my video, is pointing out hypocrisy. When it comes to Hollywood, when it comes to these directors, these writers, when it comes to these article writers who are supporting Velma in this change and are saying crazy things like this one right here, not just saying, oh cool, we got a gay Velma. Just, people in the gay community who are like, I like Velma, okay, we got a gay version, all right, and moving on. No, people who are sticking around, celebrating like it was some major victory in some battle with an enemy, and then declaring this kind of crap. If you're here, if you support the Little Mermaid race casting, it's my opinion you're a hypocrite. And I do want to go over why that is. It's not hard to figure out. I think most of you probably know why I'm saying that, but we'll go through it anyway. There's been a claim that for the past 10 years, supposedly from now, 10 years back, there is a history of writers and producers sneaking little messages in there, sneaking little subliminal hints, but never making it official in those versions of the show. Right now, I'm giving you their foundation. This is their foundation that they're building of evidence to say canon, things like it's canon, it's official, to say things as crazy as, let's just read it. So whichever side of the debate you fall on, the main takeaway is that Velma Dinkley's canon is officially queer. You can view her identity however you wish, but don't take our queer queen and make her straight. That last part is just insane. That is like demanding. That is just like pointing the finger at creators, animators, directors, writers in the future saying, you better not make her straight. You better not make a version of her that is just straight. She has to always be this way now. To make such a statement like that, okay, let's analyze their foundation, their foundation of evidence that they put this argument on. They claim there's been at least 10 years from now back then that they've been sneaking little things in, and there have been writers and producers coming out saying, oh, we wish we could have done this, but it wasn't actually done. Okay, we can't stop there because honestly, that's not good enough. That's not evidence. That doesn't make her gay. That doesn't make it official. That doesn't make any sense. So they wish they could have done something, but they didn't. I'll give you a silly example. You go to the theater, you come out with your friend. Say it was a Superman movie, and you say, I really like Superman's costume. I love his green and yellow costume. Friend says, what are you talking about? Are you crazy? Superman's costume is red and blue. What do you mean? His costume was green and yellow. Are you colorblind, or did you not see the same movie I saw? No, you don't understand. For the past 10 years, a good number of writers have said that they wished and they hoped they could have made Superman's suit green and yellow. They've always wanted to, and they've struggled to put little hints how they wanted it, but it was never official. It never came onto the screen. So that's what I saw. And so that's what it is from now on. That's what it's always been. You sound just as stupid as that person with this thing. It's just that this is more hidden, and you like that. I'm gonna be honest. If you're defending this, you like that it's a little more hidden. It's not something as plain to see with your eye like a color of a costume. Instead, it's someone's sexuality. So if it's a kid's show that doesn't talk about the character's sexuality very often, and so it's something you have to guess about, then you feel like it's open for debate. But you do sound just as ridiculous as the people saying, well, we have a history about 10 years or so of people wanting and desiring and dropping little Easter eggs, but never making it official in some of the tens of, like 100 different Scooby-Doo cartoons that have been made, like 100 different versions, different little universes of Scooby-Doo, and because of one, where they finally came out and said, she's officially gay in this one, now for all the previous, for some reason, and according to this idiot, for the future, she's always been and always will be now gay. Okay? You can make that statement. You can make that statement. You can make the demand like this person. But I want to see the evidence. I want to see what ground you stand on to make such a statement. And so far, this 10-year thing of the sprinkling of Easter eggs, it isn't looking good. That's not convincing. It's stupid. Nobody's going to buy that. Well, they don't stop there. They do give a little more evidence. So what else do they bring up? They bring up James Gunn. James Gunn, 2001 Scooby-Doo movie. Now, he didn't direct the movie, but he wrote it, or he was one of the writers for the screenplay. He was one of the writers, so just call him the writer. He's mentioning now that he always wanted to put that in there. He always wanted to make her that way, but it didn't go through with the studio. It wasn't official, and so it wasn't in the movie we saw. By the way, just wanted to mention, just off topic, like, I love that movie. I do. I love that movie. And it's always weird to me. From time to time, I'll think about it. Like, we actually got a live-action Scooby-Doo movie. We actually got a live-action Scooby-Doo. Like, I couldn't believe that. Like, and it was actually really good. Like, it was a good movie. I love that movie. And I just, sometimes it's weird to think about it. Now, sorry, just random thought. But, you know, it's just weird that that happened. But either way, now that goes outside of this whole realm of the past 10 years, right? They have one account of something from much further back. That's 2001, okay? James Gunn saying, I wish I could have. Same thing. Superman's suit is green and yellow. What are you talking about? His suit is green and yellow. 20 years ago, about 20 years ago, some guy was the writer on a Superman film, and he talks about how he wished he could make Superman's suit green and yellow. He really wanted to. And the studio just didn't let it through. It wasn't official. It didn't get onto that one film, which is, by the way, just a version of Superman, just its own little universe, not all of Superman. It's just that one. And he really wanted his to be in a green and yellow suit. But it didn't work out and it didn't happen. Okay, what's your point? My point is somebody finally did it in one cartoon version of Superman. So now it's always got to be that way. Forevermore in the future. And it's all that way. And it's always been that way. It's always been that way. Yeah, it's always been that way. For the past 10 years, we've had writers and producers wanting to put that in there, but they didn't. They put little hints. They put Superman in one cartoon walking by a store and saying, oh, I really wish I could get that green and yellow suit. Oh, I like these green and yellow shoes. They dropped little hints, man, and you couldn't see it, but they put them in there. And 20 years ago, when they made a live action film, a writer for the live action Superman film wanted to do that, but he didn't, and he just revealed that now. So, you know, it's official. You sound just as stupid as that guy. She's been around for 53 years. Scooby-Doo has been around that long. 53 years. And you're talking about the last 10? Having random writers and producers sneak little things in. They are not the creators of Scooby-Doo. They are not the original creators. They didn't originally make the characters. They didn't say anything officially about them at their origin. It's 10 years worth of little Easter eggs, nothing official, and you have 20 years ago, James Gunn alone saying, I wanted something to happen. I was hoping something would happen, and it didn't. Again, for one particular version. Okay, as far as I know, and now you have one version out of like 100 Scooby-Doo cartoons, a lot of them containing Velma swooning over guys, only guys, and really being in love with them. Whereas some articles here, hold on, right here, before this confirmation, by the way, this is the same article. I swear it's real. Go find this article. There's a bunch of articles that are all gonna say the same crap, and they're gonna say she wasn't interested in boys, like this one. We know that's not true. They're hoping we haven't watched Scooby-Doo. Before this confirmation came to light, a lot of fans had long assumed Velma was a lesbian. She wasn't into boys because she wasn't attracted to them. I love they just put that in there. They just like assume that. Like that's not true. Like we watched Scooby-Doo, Velma swooned over boys all the time. There was one show where she swooned over a boy that looked like her and was nerdy like her. You know, she's been in love with guys before. She had a relationship with Shaggy in one show, and I know that's the one they're saying, well, no, and then she fell off of that because she was gay the whole time. But then boys were introduced, and Velma did seem to have a connection to those she dated, even if her relationships didn't work out in the end. At least in the other half of this paragraph, they're kind of saying like, yeah, she did have a relationship, even if they didn't work out in the end. They shouldn't even mention that because, of course, they're not going to work out in the end. The way Scooby-Doo worked, they would never do that. They would never have that happen. Like Shaggy, and there were certain Scooby-Doo shows and a movie where Shaggy appeared to have a girlfriend, appeared to have a girl he was into. We knew she wasn't going to fall in love with him and they were going to get married, and then there's going to be a Scooby-Doo show where they're together every episode. That didn't happen. Well, at least I'm saying from the full gang, then moving on to continuing with the full gang, and Shaggy just brings along his wife or girlfriend. They wouldn't do that. So every time, even as a kid, when I would watch a Scooby-Doo, that movie where they're with the aliens or something, I knew he wasn't going to be with that girl forever. I knew something was going to happen where there was going to be a sad goodbye. So the fact they're mentioning this like evidence, like, oh yeah, the relationships, they didn't work out in the end. Of course they didn't work out in the end. They're not going to give Velma a permanent boyfriend, ever. In the older versions, they're not going to do that because they got to maintain the gang. They're not going to have someone tag along and just be along as part of the relationship with having a relationship with one of the characters and stay in the van and go on mysteries with them. There was a version of Scooby-Doo where it was just Shaggy, his girlfriend, and Scrappy and Scooby. And they went to Dracula's castle and they were racing monsters in race cars. That was one version where Shaggy had, but that was the thing. It focused only on Shaggy, which is why they could give him a girlfriend and isolate that, because it wasn't the gang. So them putting that at the end there, like trying to get you to think like that, like, oh, you know, Velma's relationships didn't work out at the end. Okay, that's interesting. No, that's how it worked with those cartoons, because they wanted to maintain the gang. So it's cliche, it was expected, even kids could see it coming. Whenever they introduce a love interest for any of the Scooby-Doo characters, we knew it wasn't going to last, so that way the gang could just stay together and the show could continue on like that. So that's kind of stupid they brought that up. That's all I see. That's all I've seen. That's their evidence. This is their foundation. This is the concrete foundation they build their premise on. This is what it is. It's just pretty much three things. It's James Gunn, they keep mentioning that. It's the 10 years past with little Easter eggs from random writers and producers not making things official. And it's something about looking at the cartoons and her relationship with boys not lasting very long, because that's what would happen with every Scooby-Doo character when they had a love interest. It wouldn't last very long because they maintain the group. That doesn't mean anything. So all I'm showing you is that's flimsy evidence. That doesn't mean jack shit. 53 years ago, She came out and she was clearly straight. The very first relationships, the very first people she swooned over in the earliest versions of Scooby-Doo cartoons were guys. They weren't girls, they were guys. Clearly, she didn't start out as bi or gay. She was straight, okay? And I'm not saying, you want to make a gay version? You made a gay version, whatever. But you're celebrating and you're saying crazy stuff like this, like we can't change her back, like some other writer can't make a version and now Now everybody that supports this, if they see another version of Velma, they're going to say, oh good, here's Velma again. Hopefully she has a girlfriend. And even if they don't show it, we're just going to say she's gay. We're just going to say that. Because she's officially that now in whatever version you make from now on. At least that's what the person who wrote this article is saying, at least with this statement right here, which is, ridiculous. The whole point with the Little Mermaid comparison is because what are they all saying right now? They're saying, this is right, this is fine, this doesn't matter. Why do I call it hypocrisy? I call it hypocrisy because with Velma, this is the one time people who support this kind of crap are actually looking to the past. They're actually saying when it's in their favor, well, they think it's in their favor. They're saying, well, we have historical evidence. We have history. We have original context on our side to support this. They always do this. They always do this to support something that is woke. Making a character gay, changing from white to a minority race. They'll always, at that point, they'll say, let's look at the original book. Let's go back and look at the original TV show. How does nobody see the hypocrisy here? How do none of you see that? How do none of you catch that? I mean, I hope a lot of you have. How does nobody, but there are some people who are oblivious to it, and I do want you to see it because it is kind of insane. These people will literally, at this moment in time, say, well, in the original TV show, look, we have a bunch of people claiming that they put little things in there and little Easter eggs, and they said they put this and that. It wasn't official. It wasn't even official. But they're grasping onto that like it's solid. They're grasping onto it like it means something. Grasping onto wants and desires of writers. Not getting it onto the actual show or the movie, but just wanting to and desiring. They are grasping onto that like it means something. Okay, that's what they're doing to make crazy statements like this. What about The Little Mermaid? Have you read the original Little Mermaid book? Do you know what the original Little Mermaid book actually says about Ariel's skin color? Did you know it mentions her skin color? That's right, it does. What does it say? She's white. Go ahead and look it up for yourself. The book says she had white skin, white hands, white feet. She was white. She had white skin. Again, I want creative freedom in Hollywood. You want to make a black version? That's fine. You can do that. But then all I see now are people saying she's black. Little Mermaid is black. Period. The point people are angry about it isn't because we want a rule saying you can't do this, but we're going to critique it honestly and going to say it's a political move. You did not cast this girl out of the goodness of your heart of saying we're going to try to get the best actress for the role. It was political. It was also hypocritical. I'm curious why the hair is red. Why is her hair red? Honestly, she looks worse with red hair. She does. Maybe it's just my opinion, but I don't really like the red hair. I think, I know it's kind of brownish, but it's more red. I think she should have just gone with straight up black hair. I think that would have looked better, especially for picking her. I think she would have looked better with black hair. I am curious though, why did they go with red hair? Why do you think they did that? Who said they had to do that? Well, they went with it because the original cartoon had it. I'm not sure about the original book, but I know the original Little Mermaid Disney cartoon made her hair red. Also, I don't think her name was Ariel in the original book. I believe she was just described as having white skin. But the Little Mermaid cartoon for Disney was extremely popular. They're keeping the hair color the same, but not the skin color. I'm curious. They're both body parts. This is just hair. This is skin. They're both inanimate objects. They don't think, they don't feel. There's nothing supernatural about these two body parts. They don't do anything special. They don't affect your intelligence. They don't affect your wisdom. They don't affect your attitude, anything like that. None of those things, right? They're just body parts. So I'm curious why they kept the hair color the same, but not the skin. It's political. It's not hard to figure it out. It's political. Otherwise, they would have changed the hair, they would have changed the skin as well, and they would not have cared about it. The thing is, people aren't debating about is there a racial problem or something going on with hair color in society today. It's about race. So they're taking that outside political view. That's why should they cast her. I don't believe they cast her because they're like, we had a bunch of actresses lined up for the role, white and black and Hispanic, and and this girl just came out on top for Ariel. She was just amazing. I don't believe that. I definitely believe there was a checklist of, we're making Little Mermaid, and this director, whoever was, producer, whatever, was like, okay, we're gonna make sure black. We're just making another woke film for Disney. We need a black actress for Ariel, and they checked that box. But the thing is, we can make the same logic. We can do the same thing. We can say, no, this can't be this way. No, she has to always stay white. And you would have to accept that if you defend Velma, if you defend Velma's transformation in one version, and you defend it to the extent that you would say something as crazy as this person in this article. If you talk like this after seeing Velma coming out in one version, now two with the HBO Max show, then by that same logic, standing on such a weak foundation, you should look at the Little Mermaid people with a much stronger foundation, the original frickin' book, and say, yeah, you know what? By that logic, if I'm not going to be a hypocrite, I got to choose one or the other. So yeah, she can't be black. I don't want some rule you can do, but I'm critiquing it as a bad move here. I'm critiquing this as a bad move here. The hypocrisy here is just, they want to use history and foundation and look at the original sources here when it's convenient for them. But over here, when it's not, they don't even touch it. They don't want to look at the original book. And if you do quote the original book to them, they're going to go, well, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. So we'll just say, we can make a black version. It doesn't matter what the original book said. Are you scared of change? Is there something wrong with that? Who are we hurting? It's perfectly fine. That's their response if anyone wants to quote the original Little Mermaid book. Okay, how are people responding to Velma? They're saying, yeah, she's not gay like in every version. And she's not going to be gay like forever. And not every writer and animator and director has to make her this way. The response to that? This right here. No, you're wrong. You can't do that. She has to stay this way every version, and she's always been this way. Hypocrisy. Hypocrisy. These people are hypocrites. I just wanted to point that out. It doesn't make any sense. They want to use history and original sources. Well, The Little Mermaid has more of that. But with these people, it's not really original sources. Because if you look at the original source, when she was first created, and the very first versions of Scooby-Doo that came out after that, she was clearly straight, and only straight. And after that, what do you have? Well, we have James Gunn, a writer who wanted and desired to make something, but didn't do it. That's not good enough. What else do you have? Well, we have skip another 10 years, and we have 10 years of more writers and producers wanting and desiring and putting little Easter eggs. That's not good enough. You think that's good enough to make crazy statements like this? Okay, fine. Then by that logic, you don't think any race swap should happen if an original comic book source or book has the character already white. And if you do, we get into more hypocrisy, right? I've said it before, I'll say it again. Teen Titans Cyborg, let's make a live action version where he's white. Let's do that. They would not want that. They would be against that. And I don't mean a parallel universe that the Justice League goes to. No, I mean just straight up white Cyborg in regular universe where the Justice League is from, the original whatever. Just white Cyborg. They would hate that. They would call it racist. They would say hypocrisy. Hypocrisy all over, right? So there can be race changes with hard evidence that the character was not like that because it suits their political needs. Okay, can we try to do that with a black character to white? Nope, that's racist. Oh my goodness, okay. All right, Velma is not always gay, but you got a gay version. No, you're wrong. She's always gay. She's always been gay, and she will always be gay forever. This is confirmed, and our evidence is a few writers that had hopes and wishes throughout the years. Not most writers, not most producers for Scooby-Doo. A few of them, very scarce throughout the 53 years she's been around, and they wanted things to happen. That's our foundation for that. They wonder why they're losing people. They wonder why stupid movies like Bros that came out did horribly. They want, when they tweet things out like, you misogynistic people didn't go see it. I think it was mostly because of a bunch of heterosexual bigots that, whatever the tweet was, that this movie failed. This is their logic. This is their hypocrisy. This is how they make their trailers. This is why they're going to keep losing. And I'm just going to enjoy the ride. I can't wait to see it happen. I can't wait to see that show flop. I just can't wait to see it happen. It's already happening. Bros already had a terrible opening weekend, which they blame straight people on. The Velma show, I feel like, is going to flop. I'm hoping on it. Little Mermaid is gonna flop. I'm hoping on it. And I want to be clear about something. I didn't really touch too much on the race swapping and things like that and these changes in general. Is there ever a time I am okay of, and I wouldn't critique it always and say, oh no, that's wrong. You can never change somebody's race from an original comic book source. White to black, black to white, Hispanic to white, whatever, etc. There are some cases I would support that. And I don't want to talk about it here. I do want to make a separate video talking about would I ever support race swapping. I do want to make a video on that in general. The Batman clearly did it. We got a black Commissioner Gordon, a black Catwoman, a black Mayor of Gotham. We got 3 race swaps in one Batman movie. Little Mermaid, Snow White. Snow White might merit its own video again. I already made a video on that, but gonna redo it. That'll be separate. I'm not against people if they want to have Black Ariel in a movie. I don't want creative freedom like that taken away from Hollywood. I don't. But I'm gonna be an honest critic. I don't want that freedom taken away. I don't want that. I don't want a rule that says that. You can't change an original white character to a black. No, I don't want that rule. I want you to be able to have the freedom to do that. A director wants to do that, fine. They want to make Velma gay, fine. Same thing, if they want to make an original black character, what? Fine. I want you to have that freedom. I'm going to critique it honestly. And if I see it's purely for politics, like it was here with Velma, and it was with The Little Mermaid, I'm going to call it out. And when I see the clear hypocrisy you people have for defending one way and then dropping that defense entirely to defend the other one, I'm going to call you out on your hypocrisy and your bullshit, which it is. Anyway, next video, I'll probably get into my thoughts on race swapping. There's been so much. I mean, it happens all the time, right? Amazon Prime, Netflix, it's just riddled with race swapping, gender swapping, all these different things, but mainly focusing on the race, I guess, especially with the Batman doing it and Rings of Power and all that. I want to make a separate video just focusing solely on that, and we'll get into that next time probably. And just remember, if there was some famous gay character that was created at the start gay, say they've been around for a few decades, and in the last decades, same exact situation as Velma here, little sprinkles, people saying we want them to be straight, and then they officially do a version where the character is just straight, not gay. You know they would not allow that, you know they would hate that, and you know they would not ever allow somebody to write an article and put a statement in here. Just imagine that. Imagine an original gay character and them writing something like this about them. You can't take our straight queen or king and make them gay. Imagine if they say, it's hypocrisy all around, okay? It's just as weird for you to celebrate that as it would be for a straight person to celebrate about a straight character or changing a gay character straight. Like I said, I didn't want to react to that trailer for the HBO Max show on its own, and I'm not sure I'll watch it. It doesn't look good from the trailer. It looks really boring. It doesn't look like it's going to be funny. They failed to make me laugh in the trailer, and they wasted their time with attacking a good portion of their audience who is against them, which was not a good way to present your teaser trailer. Okay, well that's it for this one. Next time, maybe talk about the race swapping or something else. There are other topics like Snow White. That's getting talked about again. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video, and thank you for watching.